course, two of the Story boys and Leo all get in there at once, and run with it as its rocket ship. Yeah. It's like this big with 3 boys in it. Boom, they all go down.
That's funny.
He knew exactly. I put like Amazon stickers on it. So it says
yeah.
to Leo Kobe, return to Mars. And he knew right away who it was because it smelled like me.
Oh, that's funny. Aww. So, he must have some little things he rides on because there's quite a path around there.
He's got a little Ranger, he's got a little tractor, they've got a Ranger, and they go everything. But they're going back to that pickup with it because they have to go back to water screen for a test.
You can,
Are you gonna do? Are you gonna put the presentation
Something about the
on?
blood work.
I would like to.
before.
We can.
They're testing for everything. It's just another MRI. Nothing's ever come up, but and something about his heart valve. There's Mike a little spot on his heart valve. So the pediatrician is like,
When Jones was born, we called those doctors scary baby doctors because it just looked like they were trying to find stuff that was
So
wrong.
when you're ready,
You know?
Mm-hmm.
put that on.
So I said to Laura, I said, none of us have any of those
Click on the eyeball.
tests
Okay.
when our kids were
Thank you, Brett.
little. Sometimes you wonder if you don't need to know,
So Susan's going to sing the national anthem this morning?
that's what I heard.
That'll scare everybody away. All right, we're going to stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. There's a flag right out there. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Consider for approval the minutes and agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes and agenda as presented.
I'll second. Motion by Derby, seconded by Smith to approve the minutes and agenda. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. 9 a.m. Public hearing for Winnebago County budget for the fiscal year 2026.
I'll make a motion to open the public hearing for the budget for fiscal year 2026.
I'll second that. Derby and Smith. All in favor, say aye.
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 Hi.
Hi, Bill.
Hello.
What?
I was kind of, if it was going to be sung, it would be a duet with us.
Oh, shoot. A duet? You were going to sing too?
Well, no, yeah, that would be, I would feel offended if it was.
Sure.
Name for our public hearing. If you want to just do it on the table there or something.
We don't have a big crowd here today yet.
No.
We're past it.
Mm-hmm.
Being willing to participate.
So the public hearing is opened. Consider for approval fiscal year 20.
No.
Oops, we can't go for that. What do
No.
we need?
Well, we're
Discussion?
still open for
Oh.
comments.
Oh. Any comments? Anyone on the phone?
Hearing no further comments, I'll make a motion to close the public hearing for the Winnebago County budget for fiscal year 2026.
I'll second. Derby's motion, Smith second to close the public hearing. All in favor?
Aye.
Hi.
Now we can move to 3.
Mm-hmm.
Consider for approval fiscal year 2026 budget. We didn't get anything in writing or anything, did we?
No, but I'll have to run down quick and grab the budget, because I need to stamp on it.
Oh, okay.
But I have it in my office.
I haven't got the stamps ready.
Okay, I'll run down quick.
Oh yeah, it was set for February from last week.
How much rain did you get, Ben?
No idea.
We had just .03.
I was in Albert Lee at Home Depot picking up particle board.
Oh,
Worst thing you can have in the rain.
get it
It
already
was
done.
pouring up there.
That's one store I'll never go to again.
Yeah,
It pissed me off so bad. 2 weeks ago,
yeah.
went to get Powell Sack Creek, and they thought I had to stand in the store while they loaded on my semi-truck, and I said, that don't work.
Hey, good morning.
Morning. Returned that shit and told them to keep it for Menards.
You had better luck at Menards.
Menards, you can stand right beside the trailer. Tell them where you want it. And it might even be cheaper.
Get your steps in.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 budget.
I'll second. Motion by Derby, seconded by Smith to approve the fiscal year 2026 budget. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed?
Alright,
Motion passed.
I am having a bit of a hard time hearing you guys.
Okay, we'll try to speak up.
There you go.
This thing? I think this is blocking me here.
There's probably noise coming from that as well,
Yeah.
you know?
All right. Well, where should I stand? Anywhere up here? Or?
Yeah, wherever you can find some, maybe that top corner on the front. Yeah, right there.
Okay.
Okay. We're at item number 4, discussion with possible action, salvage yard property in northern Winnebago County.
Somebody want to text Kelsey, because my phone's being used.
So's mine.
Oh, you don't know where yours is.
Well, I think I do. It's probably still on the charger.
Was Matt gonna be here?
I don't know.
Where's Scott?
Morning.
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 Yeah.
By the time we're done with this room, we'll have all the facilities we need.
Yeah.
Yep, she just didn't know where we were at, if we were back down there or not, so I'm just on our way. Good morning. Good morning. How are you?
I'm well, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, maybe not right in front of the projector one. Blind me.
So we just went to item number 4, discussion of possible action, salvage yard property in northern Winnebago County. But we have not had any discussion, we were just waiting for you.
Okay.
So, Benny, you're building a fence, right?
Yep.
Okay. And how's that going?
Slow.
Mud?
Ran into, drill a hole and you got water.
Okay.
But I had I've got like 6 holes drilled and they left them standing for a week and last I looked at it, it looked like the water drained away. But it's just too windy to be doing anything.
Okay. I'm trying to remember what the discussion was. It was supposed to be 6 foot high and,
Well, it's gonna be 9 feet tall total.
oh. Okay.
Because if you stand out on the highway, you still see everything. Knowing who's complaining, I'm pretty sure I know who it is. He'll complain no matter if the fence is up or not. Just because he thinks that I should sell him iron, and he told me that he's gonna do whatever it takes to make sure that I sell him iron. It doesn't matter if he's gonna go up, keep calling the county every day.
So I could not find our minutes from the last time that we visited. I looked, but I couldn't.
I think what I remember was the use was being in question.
Correct.
I'm living there now, so it's not.
Because the last discussion we had was that Benny needed to file an application for rezoning.
I'm not doing
Was my
that.
recollection.
I'm only doing a fence.
So then we have to decide whether it's in compliance, and if not,
I'm only building a fence, and
Then
that's
we-
all I'm gonna do.
then we have to proceed legally.
Because I've talked to everybody I talked to that knows about this stuff. They said what I'm doing is totally legal, what I'm doing, that I do not have to rezone because I do not have a business name up. I do not advertise. I have no sign up, nothing, so there's no way for Brant saying that's a salvage yard when it's my acreage and I live there, and it's just the same as anybody else that does business at their house, like construction workers, people that own construction companies. They have their business right at home. They don't have to rezone, so there should be no reason that I do. I do not have a scale in there. I do not have people come to buy an iron. I did not find anything from my place from people there. Occasionally you'll have somebody come and drop something off because they just want it out of their house from town, but big deal. They do that to every place. Everybody that picks up junk, they do that.
So let's revisit this again. Right now it's zoned agriculture,
Sounds right, I think.
So,
right? And the thoughts at one time was that it needed to be rezoned. I'm just going through it so that we're all on the same page. That it needed to be rezoned so that you could have
To light industrial.
to light industrial, so that you could have a business there, right? That's where we were at.
I'm not That is if you put a sign up. I'm not putting a sign up. I don't have too much headache.
And so when did you move there?
November of last year.
Okay, and you live there full time, all the time?
Yep.
Okay. So your home that's there, I don't know if this is pertinent at all, I'm just gonna ask if it's not something I should ask. It has septic lines and,
I don't even have running water yet.
okay,
That's all gonna come this year. I
okay.
gotta, rent a porta potty for out there for now. I have for the last
So
2
you do
years.
have that though,
Yeah,
okay?
and I've had that out there pretty much ever since I've owned the place, so.
It's none of my business, but do you still own the place in town?
Yeah,
too? Okay,
wish I didn't, but,
Which is another state.
yeah.
that's true, it's another state, I was just curious. Yeah, okay. So what do we need? What other information do we need, Kelsey?
Well, so him living there is news to me. So I'll have to look and see if that changes anything. I just haven't looked at that because I didn't realize that he was living there.
I've always said I'm moving there, so.
Yeah, we didn't know, but, yeah.
Right. So I will.
Well, I do remember you saying that you were gonna build something and
No,
live there
it
someday.
was in the
Right.
works already then.
But he wasn't living out there at the time.
No.
So
Right.
that may change things. I have no idea. I got to look at that. And I would like to talk to Matt Dubé about that as well and see if that changes anything from his side.
Okay.
If it doesn't change anything, then we're just back to county needing to take action if that's the intent. So.
And then if that's the case, then you're gonna have to go after at least half a dozen other people before you come after me. Cause there's a place just less than 4 miles away with 40 vehicles on the property. Junk vehicles. And it's just been sitting there for who knows how many years. And there's a whole bunch of other people you're gonna have to go after first. Cause I have nothing compared to what they have.
Well, I think we just wait and see what we find out.
Yeah, we'll need to find that out
I don't
first.
even want to discuss it unless we know
Mhm.
conclusively what the rules are.
Right.
Right.
I would agree.
It would be nice to know if you have an end date on building the fence, just so that we know.
It's just whenever I got time to work on it, it's not windy. I don't know, it could be a year from now, who knows?
And then were there some concerns about the fence being too close to the road?
I don't have any
Right.
knowledge on that.
If it's put up where it looks like it's going, it will cause a snow trap, and that's the only concern. I don't know if it violates any rules. It's hard to
Okay,
understand
gotcha.
in the code where it was supposed to go. I mean, typically fences go along the property line, but
Yeah.
it's rare you see such a tall, solid fence right along the road, so we might get buried with snow in there and have trouble digging out.
Do you think a fence on both sides of the property is going to help that then? Or it'll catch the first side if it's coming from that direction and dumping
I
in?
mean, it's possible the one closest to the highway will catch some of it, and so it won't be as bad on the east side of the property, but, typically wherever you see a solid wall, you're gonna have some weird snow movement, just because the wind changes.
Yeah. Never from the same direction in any given day.
Yeah, so, I guess that's the only reason I brought that up. is
Sure.
'cause we could get lots of snow in there, and that hasn't been a concern before, because the property's been relatively open.
So the letter that Matt sent out also had concerns about a permit on file
That's right.
For,
The fence.
for the fence.
that's required on ag property.
He's the one
It
who
just
brought
says
it
a
up.
Probably
fence.
only if it's light industrial. But that should be
That
clarified.
could be, yeah.
Permit application just needs to be applied for, I guess, under the zoning department.
Depends on if you're see, there's two categories under ag. You got your ag residential, and then you've got your ag. Well, this would be more ag residential now,
Mhm,
so
correct.
that might require a permit. But I don't know where Matt was going with it.
Yeah, and we can I can clarify that with
Yeah.
him, where he came up with that.
So we have some new considerations
Right.
to look at. I'm glad you came to fill us in on that. And between Kelsey and Matt, we'll find out if
Okay.
everything's under compliance. That's all we really want, you know?
Okay.
And then we'll just put it back on
Yeah.
We'll let you know if and when it gets back on the agenda.
Okay.
All right, thanks, Ben.
Thanks for coming.
if you want to throw it on. It'd have to
Is
be.
there some more discussion that we want to talk about at all? Ethan, did you have something you
Does
wanted
it
to?
seem like the fence on the property lines fits the code?
I don't know. I haven't looked at that yet.
Okay.
I was
Did
hoping-
you check that?
Yeah.
And
How far back is it?
it's right on the property line.
Right on the property line.
Yeah, I don't know when you talk about, yeah, fences are usually on the property line, but isn't usually a solid fence, so.
Yeah.
In the way it sits right now, it's gonna be a snowdrift all the way across the road.
Well, the problem is we want it to be a solid fence because the whole point is to block the visual part of it. So it's kind of like catch-22.
And to
It's a beautiful
contain
fence.
stuff that's blowing around, too.
Yeah,
You know, there's
right.
Stuff that's blowing around.
Yeah, I guess at that point, are we sure we really want a fence?
I feel like it looked better. I think
Do
it's on
you want to take all the calls from the neighbors about the?
the
property?
I kinda wish he would have
said the
just
same thing.
enclosed the south end to work in. And if he, wants to display stuff on the other end, that's the point.
Do you want to put it back on for May 6th? That's going to be the next time I'm available.
Okay.
And I just, obviously this summer I'm going to be out at some point, so that way we keep it on there. I hope so.
Just glad to hear he got a porta potty.
Yeah,
But there's no running water, so I don't know how that affects zoning. We really kind of needed that.
I mean, there are a lot of houses in town that people live in that don't have running water as well. You'd be surprised if you talk to any law enforcement officers how many of those they encounter. So don't know that. I mean, I don't doubt that he's living there without running water.
I have an idea what's going on, but yeah,
Okay,
I think there's more facilities.
sure.
So hopefully we can.
Yes,
I
we
mean,
just
this is what we directed him to do.
correct.
At that time was a fence.
Well,
of some
no.
sort.
We
Well, that
didn't
was the-
direct him to do that.
No.
No,
We told him he needed to go to light industrial in what he's
I
doing.
think it was the meeting before that, which has been a long time ago now, that we talked about a fence. And then, because the last meeting was that he needed to switch to
Right, that's-
light industrial.
Change the zoning.
Mm-hmm. But if he is living there, that probably does change things. Now, but I don't know if it changes the definition of a junkyard. That's what I've got to look at and see if that all of a sudden
Like
accepts.
he says, how many others are you gonna go after then?
Well, and that's, are you getting complaints about the other ones? Sometimes we have to pick and choose too. But some are more egregious than others, and the county has the discretion of what they enforce and what they don't enforce. Obviously, we want to have some continuity with it, but
This one is just so visible, which
I
is why
think
it
that's
fits.
the
And
issue,
the
yeah.
small town of Norman, close,
Unincorporated town.
unincorporated.
Yeah.
So, okay, well, we got more information.
okay.
We didn't have before, right?
Yeah. So we'll have that on, and could you let Matt know to be here for that one too? But I'll be in touch with him. Obviously, I'll go email him right now and see if we can find a time to stop in too.
Okay.
And we'll see if that changes anything. Is that all you had for me? I think so.
Yeah, I don't think we have anything else for
Is
you.
court gonna have any problem with our closing the courthouse on Rag Road?
What's the date?
July 22.
I think I looked at that already and we don't have court that day. July 22.
Mhm.
No court that day, so you're fine.
Oh, I don't know.
Yep. Unless you might want to check with the clerks to make sure they don't have like a specially set trial or anything. That would be like a civil that I wouldn't be involved in, but there's no regular court that day, so.
Okay.
All right, thank you
Thanks.
guys.
Thank
Yep.
you. Auditor's office will discuss drainage matters. Call Chris.
3412 585 3412. I can do it, but I can't. I forgot my phone today.
County Auditor's Office, this is Lori.
Hey, do you want to send Chris up or to drainage?
I can, thanks.
Thank you.
Wow, we're waiting.
Are you skipping 5?
We'll come back at 10 for that.
Oh, okay.
Once it's on for a time, we have to do it at that time.
I wondered about that.
We can be a little late, but we can't be early.
Yeah, so. Well, we learned that.
Hello.
It takes a little look at it,
Do we have any drainage today, Chris?
No, not just what's on the agenda.
So the project that Collins were working on, looks like they were covering yesterday, so I think it's probably done now.
Yeah, okay.
They wait for it to drain down.
Okay.
Did you go by it yesterday? Did they get it done? I saw them starting this the dozer, but
Sure.
most of the water was gone.
I didn't go by it yesterday. Looks pretty good after you ripped it though.
What's that?
It looks pretty good after James ripped it. Water to drain.
Yeah. Hopefully we get some nice rains on it now to mellow it. Yeah. So did you have any drainage?
I don't have any other drainage.
Bill, do you have any drainage?
That's not.
I'll take that as a no.
So do we want to discuss possible action Winnebago River cleanup?
I still am not in favor. I did get a thing back from IDDA that even though it said it's an improvement, it's when two or more outlets, two more districts outlet, that's what they call it. So he said we can ignore the improvement word, but we still need to follow all the steps if that's what the route we wanted to go.
So
So,
as long as so they're saying if there's more than one outlet in there.
yeah. I know you had mentioned that you wanted, if we had Colin come in, to do the whole river. I'm just nervous that why are we having our landowners pay Clean River when there's so many more people that use it?
But nobody else is gonna.
So
that's the
I've got a
problem.
question, Chris. I don't know if you understand, but isn't it the county conservation that's in charge of the water trails there?
That would be a DNR.
But who's the local? There was a local application for that grant to do the water trail. Somebody's supposed to be responsible for that.
I'm not familiar with that
Okay,
application or what all was involved with
because the
that.
DNR doesn't just come up and put signs up. It had to be a
Sure.
local effort that had to
Yeah.
be responsible for it, and I
Yeah.
thought it was the county conservation.
Yeah, it very well could have been. I mean, they could have, Robert could have applied. I think there was some grants that were available for a while.
There's grants every year,
For
but
yeah, through the DNR for water trail signage and stuff, but I don't know all what comes with getting those signs, what,
right now it's not much of a water trail with some of the,
sure, and it's, I mean, the flow of the river is going to, it's, you know, by the time you get mid-June, it's gonna be more or less impassable in most years with just the water, you know, the low flow, it won't be passable with canoes and kayaks, you know, for a lot of dragging.
is it possible for you to check with the water trails with the DNR and see what their stance is on cleaning the trails?
Yeah,
I don't know who's in charge of it now. Way back when it was put in, I think it was Nate Hogan or whatever his name was. I think he moved up now or something.
yeah,
But if you could look into that and just see what their stance is on designated water trails, what's the requirements?
Yeah.
If there's grants available to do things in that,
If that's a trail, what's that have to do with the river?
on the river.
Oh, okay, I
It's hard
see.
to navigate right now. It's
Right.
not really a trail if you can't get through.
Gotcha, I was thinking more land as a trail, okay.
That's why I'm thinking the whole distance there from Dolly on down to Forest City.
Yeah, my stance is, I don't know why, I know it needs to be cleaned, but why is it
Well, that's why I'm
drainage?
asking him to check into
Yeah,
that
responsibility.
opportunity before we proceed with anything else.
Yeah,
And I'm sure there's a timing on theirs.
yeah. What's your guys' stance on cleaning the river? I mean, how do you feel it needs to be?
I mean, you got kind of two or three things involved in it. One's safety, and if you've got, we call them strainers. So if you have a big log jam that's creating a safety issue, that's one thing. Ecologically, the trees in the river are kind of a benefit of their habitat for all kinds of aquatic organisms. And then you also have erosion, bank stabilization, and that really varies. The river through Winnebago County is pretty meandering. It's always going to be meandering, so its path is going to be, over a long period of time, is going to constantly be in flux. But sometimes obviously there's property concern with other assets that look at protecting, either putting riprap, protecting the riverbank. There's a lot of different ways they come in and reshape the bank of the river and slope it back to where, either high water events that just spread the river out, and so it reduces erosion that way. As far as I'm concerned, conservation is concerned, generally, unless it's a safety concern, I don't, or, if it was where we have one section that's making the river impassable like a water trail, then we might look at doing something there. But generally, it's a nature thing, and we'll let it do its thing until it causes a problem.
And do you feel any part of the river right now is causing a problem, like where this is?
I did go out and look at that spot. I was going after we talked to Scout, the route back for an excavator to get in there. And I don't know, well, I think the day we talked was the day the blizzard hit and then the river came up. And I don't know if some of it cleared out from there. There is a navigable pass through there now, and they were wondering out there. Another option I was sent out this morning, as far as if it's just one area of concern, a small area, when the river's low this summer, go in with chainsaws and just kind of muck it up and leave it there, and then wait for the next. It kind of pushes the problem down. But if you chunk it up small enough, then it'll clear out of that one section and would be another option. Then, really, the other thing for us, as far as doing river cleanups, if we're doing large scale tree removals out of the river, we don't, other than chainsaws and a tractor, we don't have big equipment that to really do it. It's just not typically a high priority for most county operations.
So where are we at legally doing anything in there anyway?
The Corps of Engineers
Army
said
Corps,
we can clear out branches and, trees, but not dig out the roots. So we have to cut to release from the roots. And we have to, and we can do sediment, just don't touch the bank if we choose.
And it's all on our dime.
Somebody's time, whatever that ends up being.
I mean, I can look into it, but as far as I know, I've never heard of anybody using grants for,
I just know there's grants every year for water trails.
Sure.
It comes out of the fees that are paid in.
Yep. There's generally, I think they're for providing access to the trail, to river, putting in canoe kayak launches, signage.
I'd rather hear their stance on it.
Sure, yeah.
What's required, who the entity is in charge of it,
Mhm.
what's their responsibilities, and
Yeah,
And
and how
whose
the
money's
discovery
available to
is
help.
made, who goes and looks at it? Does somebody from conservation or DNR, or who goes and
And the
deems?
water coalition, what's their stance? What's their thoughts, ideas?
Well, right now, they're still in their infancy. They just got grant to do an engineering plan for the river. That'll happen over the next year or so.
what's the scope of the engineering plan?
I haven't been involved with sort of one of those organizations forming. I know that they're kind of using the model that
Shell Rock?
the Shell Rock
Mhm.
used somewhat recently, it sounded like. But I
And
think
what did that involve?
I haven't read through it. I think it covers everything from drainage, nutrient applications, ways to protect the watershed, essentially.
Well, I was told by somebody that the Shell Rock's being cleaned in areas, so.
So maybe we could wait a little bit and see, if the water's flowing now,
It's only been up and going for not even a year.
Right.
The one that they're trying to look at Winnebago.
Oh, Shell Rock's been going.
No, for Winnebago.
Oh, Winnebago, yeah, but the Shell Rock's been in place,
Yeah.
long time.
yeah.
I know they have to get their,
Because that's the outlet of the Fountain Lake in Cowardly.
they have to get their engineering plan done, and then I think they have to wait another year before they're eligible for any state level grants, so.
It'd be nice to see what they thought, because they would do the whole river, right? The start of the Winnebago to the end, or,
I don't even know that that's something that the watershed coalition would pursue, a large scale river cleanout.
but I mean, isn't that what the
Oh.
engineers going to
It's a
look
study,
at?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a study.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll probably will look at think that would be
Are they looking at the health of the river?
yeah, I think it's
A
more
lot of
the goal.
ecological.
clean water part of it?
here,
Yeah,
I can
and
see.
how to reduce nutrient runoff and soil erosion is, you know, a big part of what I don't know what their plan is.
I went to a few of their meetings and it was a very slow process. Yeah.
But if this isn't causing a huge issue right now, can we leave? And maybe look at other avenues, the grant thing or
I'd just like to see we work through every part of it and understand everything involved.
the.
We can ask them to, what's her name, Farmer, Cynthia?
Cynthia Farmer.
You know, we can ask her to come and present to us, talk to us, you know, to tell us what,
Yeah, maybe,
Mhm.
I just look at up in Minnesota, they're constantly cleaning the rivers up there and keeping them passable.
Yeah.
Who pays for it then?
That I don't know.
Really.
But they have a different system for drainage.
they do.
They have a county person that is probably one step up from you, that has the power to go in and do things without board approval or something. That's the way it is. You remember that meeting up in Mankato that one day where they talked about that?
And it's in their state laws too,
Yeah.
that it all has to be.
I think some of that money comes from their sales tax. That 3/8 of a cent that they did, that we can never get done. I think some of that money comes from that. So, and then I wouldn't really count on that right now. It doesn't seem like they're interested in anything on that in a positive way.
In Urban County and Iowa, which is not big in that section, but it's 2 to 3 times the size of Winnebago, I would say here. And it got a lot of kayak traffic, and there they had a local group of snowmobile club, it was kind of go in the winter, and just kind of take it upon themselves and just kind of go and cut what they could reach.
Well, that's for the branches that are kind of in the way, but when you have a tree
Sure,
across
yeah, when
and
it's
it's
already
frozen
in
in,
the-
that's
yep.
different.
Yep.
Yeah, because you don't want to chainsaw through.
And like the local club, it's not their trail, so technically they can't use their equipment to do it. They have the equipment that probably drag it out of there, but they're not allowed to. Because unless it was a trail,
Yeah.
and we don't recommend trails on the river that are groomed.
And just the larger size of the Iowa, big.
It's a lot smaller up here at Crystal Lake.
Yeah, it is, quite a bit smaller, yeah.
I don't know what happens by the time you get there. It must be Franklin County that does
I'm
it.
sure, yeah. But it's, when we would have log jams or, down trees, it was big enough that it didn't affect navigation very often.
Well, I know, one person that's been kind of vocal about it is, out here, the NCSS, what's his name? Starts with an H. North of town, on the blacktop.
Because it comes by their house, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he would like to see a petition to go after monies or something. I don't know what that entails.
Right, but then it's like, well, then if he's petitioning, it's by his house, and we were thinking of cleaning it up. So those two sections aren't even together, right?
No, that's why I said we need to look at who all lets into it, and then if that's the only opportunity to get anything done,
Yeah.
then we do it the right way. But I know there's sections by Leland that are not good.
Where that bridge is.
They were not good 10 years ago when I lived there. But then, I'm guessing down Hadachi. Yeah, down by Hadachi, there's probably a lot more down there too. So any of
And
this
it's-
canoeing and stuff is
yeah.
getting tougher and tougher.
And on the east side of the river there's houses that have trees, remember by it? Probably getting old and,
Do a full-scale countywide, the scope of that project would be huge. The time involved and the access to get to all of it, and then what you do, pilot and permit, or whatever. Dispose of it, I mean, I have no idea, but I'm thinking that would be more than $1 million kind of project to do, countywide. So I, start getting grant, that kind of dollars for grants, it's gonna be something that's would be really competitive, I'm sure.
And from where?
Yeah, and from where? When you're talking, the DNR doesn't have grants, as far as I know, any conservation related grants that would.
One thing I
maybe
can
half
see
a million or
is
so.
if their water program has signed everything possible,
Mhm.
and they still have monies left,
Sure.
what are they using those monies for?
If I have money left. Yeah, but I'll do some checking and,
Yeah.
we'll see what they have to say.
Because the legislature's always looking at, are the monies spent wisely and should we be cutting? And we want to make sure it's utilized in a good manner for everybody's benefit, really.
So when they take something out of the river, the sludge or any, do they have to spread it out? Do they have to just pile it? Where
I'm guessing it's kind of spread, kind of like we do our ditch banks, We try to put it out there and just level it.
Because we were cleaning one on one of our farms one time, and we weren't allowed to leave it was on some federal state ground, and we had to actually haul it away, which made it almost prohibitive, because you had to haul the excess away. You couldn't just spread it out on the.
The one thing they might be concerned about, that still would be probably pretty high in phosphorus, and, that's leading to a lot of the nutrient issues.
I'd be perfectly happy on this project just to do the trees. I don't think we need to necessarily spend the money on the silt removal. Probably will wash away, but just getting the trees out of there would probably allow that to happen.
Did we ever come up with a price on what it would be to just take the trees out?
he has it all together in his estimate.
And that includes silt
This
removal.
included the
So
silt.
it's not broken down at all? And
And
what
probably
was,
more labor intensive on the tree removal, probably. I'm not, if he's gonna do silt removal, he has to locate both sides of the lawn stick.
I know, it's not broken down like that.
He's got one long stick, and he's gonna bring the other one with the grappler on the end, on the other side. And,
by just looking at it being down there, do you think it could come from just one side with one machine or not?
no.
No.
Well, I don't know, I guess if you had one, see, the bad thing is the long stick doesn't have the power. It can, kind of grab and pull back. But if you're gonna pull all, say, to the west side, I suppose you'd have to use a cable and pull it or something. You're gonna need some power then. We're talking trunks like this. And it's gonna have to be pretty low flow to get out there and work with it then. Which might happen. So,
Okay,
well,
let's
if you can
have,
check on that, then we'll just
Okay.
take that stuff.
all right, anything else on the cleanup? We'll go to Scott for,
All right,
Yeah.
thank you.
thank you.
Thanks.
Secondary roads update.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
Our shop is looking like a building. They got the floor in the office poured, and they got some of the, and they got the posts up of the main part of the building. I guess I haven't seen it today. How far around are they?
It's, their phones are boring electrical, underneath the road to get power.
That's here. How are they doing the posts and framing work?
Well, Bob's in, they were talking about setting rafters on Monday.
Ooh, hopefully it won't be windy.
Yeah, right. So hopefully rafters next week. They said they might start working on building the office walls and stuff like
So
that.
is the office the east, far east,
Yeah. Well,
the footings?
yeah.
I was thinking if they put up the short structure, that'll brace the rest of it too.
Yeah. So,
That won't take long.
no, the growth is were there yesterday at 4, and so it's really much around that area of it, so. Should be good there. Set the transformer box for power this week.
What's gonna be floor to ceiling height? 18?
9 feet in the office and 18 in the,
18.
and it's got scissor trusses, so actually we'll have a higher peak in the center. So it's 18 plus is 4 extra feet.
3 feet or something like that in the middle.
And your doors are how high? 14?
16.
16?
Same as the light ones.
You'll have to tell Grothy I got jumped the other day that we were building awful fancy secondary roads, buildings, but it was his building.
Right, yeah, no, we've been
We're
cornered
not
on that
building
one.
a
Have
fancy
you?
building.
Yeah, had to. It's like, whoa.
There's nothing fancy about our building.
I'm like, that's not ours.
Mhm.
It's a nice looking building built for itself.
Yeah, I like the color.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So then we also got maintainers out running on gravels, and we got a couple on shoulders. And also, we are spot loading to the worst of the soft spots before we start our gravel run for the year. So those guys are hauling crushed concrete to the soft spots.
On my email after our transportation meeting the other day down in Mason City, I was talking on the Hampton supervisor was there, and I asked him about their roads they had treated.
Franklin County.
Franklin County, yeah. And he sent pictures, but I don't have my phone with, so I can't show you. But he thought it weathered the winter well.
Yeah.
But that sound like they're using it on trails too. They're bituminous trails rather than paving, which sounds like a great idea.
That does sound like a great idea.
So at least you don't have to repave, you know, you just go ahead and maintain something like that.
Mm-hmm.
How do they price that out again? Per mile, per square foot? Or
He said
cubic
they
foot?
got their own water tank to apply it, so it saved a lot of money there. You don't have to pay somebody to
Oh.
do it.
Yeah, and they did perm design. Good
So,
answer.
The Purvis company really just wants to sell you the liquid. They don't really care to be bringing equipment or anything like that. They do provide like a, inspector to help coach you through the process, but
to make sure it's a
So what-
proper product.
What tool, piece of equipment do you use to dig it?
We need some sort of scare fire, so you can put one on the maintainer or that's probably what you do.
Yeah, we have a scare fire for a maintainer. So we would use that, and then you need a roller, water truck.
And we have one scare fire, don't we?
We have one, yeah,
We
it's
do?
not typically used for like that kind of deep fingers.
Did you say 6 inches? I thought you said it was
It's supposed to
6.
six and, mix in the top 6, so we need at least 6 inch times on.
It'd be
And we
fun
don't
to
have
watch. It'd be fun to watch a piece of that somewhere, wouldn't it? Just to see how it holds up.
We thought about going down, but we had too much going on
Yeah.
last fall.
We found another company north of us that has like the same product, but then they actually come down and do the water truck. And I think they had a roller that they brought down also, and it was a couple $1,000 cheaper.
Yeah, we also reach out to Freeborn County has a pretty involved chloride treatment program for some of their heavily traveled roads, so there's some different things going on there.
Where was that at?
In Freeborn County. So just north of us, either more heavily traveled county unpaved roads.
So is chloride more of a stabilization to where you don't have to blade it, or is it more of a dust control, or?
They're putting it in like we're talking here, by mixing it in at a rate that treats however much of the surface. And there's a lot of different products that are marketed as base stabilization or dust control or everything in between and using them in multiple ways. So it's nothing new, it's just something we haven't done here on the systematic program.
I was wondering how those products all compare when you have some hill, that erosion going down the middle of the road or something. If that's a problem, will it maintain a crown?
I should certainly think so. We think it would fix those problems right away.
If you want a good test, work with the county fair to do that one block down to the old Methodist stand. That is, the city never gets a crown on it, and it just washes out the middle all the time down. Back in the day, Jim Brackey used to blade it for him with the county maintainer. I don't know if we do any help with them anymore. I think they just have somebody locally go do it.
They asked me a few years ago if they got rock if we would, and I said, yeah, of course. Doesn't take much time to do.
But that's the only bad hill they have, is that one block, and it's just always washing out. The city tries to help them, but they don't have the equipment other than a payloader. It's not gonna crown it. And with the drop in elevation, it wants to go out in the middle of the road instead.
Yeah, I think they're a little short on material out there.
There was a whole bunch that got put in last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. But that's a washing.
Oh.
After the contractor last spring made a mess, they had to bring a bunch of rock. Through the city, I think. I didn't have anything else.
Nope, I don't have anything for roads either.
Ask the guy on the phone.
Hey Bill, are you still there?
I am, yes.
Anything for roads?
No, I've been driving around the gravel roads, they don't look too bad.
There you go. All right, so let's go back up to 5.
Can we just do the 5-year construction
Oh,
program?
we
got
can
2
sure do
minutes.
that, sure. we can do it in 3 minutes. Consider for approval fiscal year 2026 secondary road budget and 5-year construction program.
This is the 5-year construction program we've discussed in prior meetings. Paired with it is the budget that gets presented to the Iowa DOT that matches our local budget that was approved.
And over those 5 years, it's usually a moving target.
Right, as I always say, and I'm gonna send it up to the media here, but what we want to emphasize is the first and second year are pretty firm program projects, and the 3 years from there on out progressively turn into more of a wish list. Without guaranteed funding. The focus of the construction program is bridge replacements and paving.
All things that we talked about.
I'll make a motion to approve the fiscal year 2026 secondary road budget and 5-year construction program.
I'll second. Motion by Derby, seconded by Smith to approve the 2026 secondary road budget and the 5-year construction program. All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Motion passed.
The final approval of the budget was this meeting, right?
It was tight.
So you just need the one signature page?
I think that the budget and program each have a signature page. So, yep, need one on the top copy there. All the way on the back. I gotta check my pages.
Well, we might have rearranged it.
Yes, we did.
I'll fix them later. Sorry, what can I get yours on each of those?
So we have a 10 o'clock. If you want to stick around, we'll do that. And then we can get to number 10. So item number 5 on the agenda, 10 a.m., appoint a new member to the Winnebago River Watershed Coalition. Is that why Chris is here?
Yeah, at the last Watershed Coalition meeting, Cynthia had asked if I would be interested in replacing, I think you're the primary and you're the secondary as the active member since I was there anyway. It's completely up to you. I don't have a whole lot of opinion either way on it.
Personally, I would really like it if you were.
Okay, and I'm fine with that as well.
So we would make you the primary and her the secondary then.
That'd be fine with
That'd
me.
be fine.
It was.
I'll make a motion to appoint Chris Barber as the representative on the, I gotta read it here, Winnebago River Watershed Coalition with Susan Smith as being the alternate.
Second that. All right, so we have a motion by Derby, seconded by Smith to appoint Chris as Winnebago River Watershed Coalition representative or member. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Thanks.
Aye.
Thank you. I think, Chris, that'll be good. It's really a lot of administrative.
It is right now, especially, and I was there for, I was a considered technical advisor, so
Okay,
I'm gonna be there anyway,
that'd be great.
yeah.
You're gonna know more
Yeah, maybe,
about it.
yeah, as it goes, you can keep us updated and
Sure.
Yeah, if you have a meeting, then call over and get on the agenda and tell us what's going on.
Okay.
Thank you.
or just update us through. open
Or just
forum.
an email. Yeah, that's fine.
Sounds
Thank you. All right, we'll go to item number 10, consider for approval 28 agreement with the city of Leland providing for the division of administrative and financial responsibility to replace the J-01-NX1 bridge.
Just a clarification, it's 28E. Correct? That's
Oh.
a 28E agreement?
Yes.
Okay. Because there's 28J, we don't want to do that.
2080 agreement between Winnebago County and the city of Leland. This is for the bridge project in the city of Leland on Broadway, heading east out of town. This spells out what the county will do and what the city will do. It more or less boils down to the city receiving 100% construction funding from the state. The county will be providing some administrative support and also construction inspection at no cost to the city. And the city will be paying for the consultant fees, which will span from now until the end of the project, including preliminary engineering and construction engineering, and any of the third-party consultants that the engineering consultant will use, such as geotechnical survey, environmental analysis. This has been reviewed by the city clerk in Leland, Dawn, and this will go for their signature after today's action. It'll get recorded with the Secretary of State and the recorder's office here and be provided to all parties, including the RDP.
Has Kelsey looked at it, or is that not necessary?
She has and has given, approval.
Okay.
It also terminates upon completion of the project.
Does the city of Leland have funding in place?
Give it to.
I'm told that they have a loan in place. And the bills from Kevin Burns will trickle in pretty slow. Although I wouldn't be surprised if there's been surveyors out there already.
I'll make a motion to approve the 28E agreement with the city of Leland, providing for the division of administrative and financial responsibility to replace the J-01-NX1 bridge.
I'll second that. All in favor, say aye.
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 Motion passed.
What? What?
Ethan, can you call Kevin?
There's a lot of steps just to be able to cross the river in the little town of Leland.
It is when there's federal aid.
Mhm.
It is anyway,
It is anyway. It's an
particularly.
expensive project.
I need yours too.
Thank you.
discussion?
Thank you.
We do number 12 quick.
Discussion with possible action, closing courthouse and public health at 12 p.m. on July 22nd, 2025 for a ride bri. So we talked to Kelsey and she said that's okay with her, but we need to check with clerk of court.
And public health is gonna need to close too. How will they handle it?
I don't know, I haven't talked to Julie, but they talked about needing her parking lot, so I just figured it was just as easy to,
Yeah, it's only a half day, right? It's not the full day.
well, and I'm hoping that, we'll have people from the courthouse who will volunteer for Rag Bri.
Yeah.
We don't ask them,
Isn't that your job?
partly.
So, the public health has another parking space on the other street.
You mean on the north side?
Yes, on the north side, that's handicap accessible.
They probably want that too.
You think?
Why is it,
There is
that's
one.
kind of outside of the,
Yeah.
outside of the
Very
expo
well
area,
open.
but would be closed off at that intersection. Not that they couldn't move cones up and allow the parking spaces to use.
Mm-hmm. So they would still have that parking, potentially. But you're right, every parking spot is gonna be,
I guess I can't see where there's gonna be a useful benefit for them to be maintaining their office open that day.
I don't think that public health board has met to really talk about it
Do we
either.
want to not include them until they do?
I have a feeling that they're gonna be fine with doing what the courthouse does.
Suppose we could make a motion contingent on public board health approval on their part of it. Well, I'll make a motion to approve the closing of the courthouse and public health being contingent on their board's approval, at 12 p.m., July 22nd, 2025 for Ragnar.
I can second the motion, but we still have to talk to clerk of court, right?
Yeah.
So that there's nothing special, so I can second the motion.
So you're asking the employees to be here or not?
We want them to volunteer.
Yeah.
So, all in favor, say aye.
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 Alright,
Motion passed. Discussion with possible action, 5-year inspection of the courthouse.
Has it been 5 years since we built the courthouse?
Most of you.
5-year inspection.
I have a PowerPoint.
There's pictures.
Let's see.
Do we want to draw the shades?
We sure can.
At least a couple of them. I think it's all in the bottom. There it goes.
Oh,
Now-
that's pretty
now
good.
we're getting there. I think it's that way.
That's good.
Okay. So Dave Randall came and gave his 5-year inspection. Okay, so it's not working.
Ooh, it's been 5 years since I've seen Dave.
So when there's an inspection that's official like this, what are the credentials needed to
This
do
is
it?
part of the planning process.
So this is the north side, looks good. West side, looks good. No caps look good. The stone on the window has some hairline cracks, but it doesn't appear to be changing. We're just going to keep monitoring that. And then the same there. The circle window on the tower, the caulk is starting to crack. And this was from 2000, sorry. And he says recommend recaulking in the next few years. The upper tower starting to show age. That was 1999. And the stones are dirty. He said that the dirty stones don't repel water as well, so it's important to keep them clean. There's starting to be some holes in some of the stone. So we just need to maybe get those filled in so we don't get water in them. The caulk is starting to wear in some of the spots. Once again, everything's looking dirty, so, but he does say the flashing looks good. Some small inclusions in the tower. The caulk in the windows is starting to look old. There's a crack in one of the windows up there. And the gaskets are coming loose in a lot of the windows up there. The stone is dirty. Inclusions, some worn joints. Worn joints again. Tower roof looks good.
Protection from earthquake.
The roofs on the assessor and the engineers are starting to look a little bit old. We're gonna need to replace those doors with fire doors eventually. Roof looks good. The glass blocks are showing signs of wear. They're also on the inside. They're starting to crumble. So we're gonna.
Joints.
Mhm. So we're gonna need to do something with that glass block. We talked about getting everything from just bricking it to getting open windows to getting clear like foot blocks of glass. Dave said he did that in one of his buildings that he's done recently. He said it looked really sharp. So we just need to figure out a plan for that.
That'll be the spindly round.
Oh yeah,
Because they're everywhere.
they're everywhere.
Windows, yeah.
Yeah, the aluminum is starting to bow where the glass blocks are sitting on. And so that's the same for everywhere, that there's glass block in the courthouse. If we could just go back to 1960s and not do
You say
that.
don't do that.
Yeah, but leave the black taste away.
There's some hairline cracks in some places. We're just gonna keep monitoring that to make sure that it doesn't get any wider. The windows look good upstairs. More just hairline cracks in the stone, and we'll just keep an eye on it. Once again, there's some small inclusions where the stone is starting to chip away. The carvings are looking good. The grade there is a little bit low. We probably need to add either, I don't know, some sort dirt. We just, once again, hairline cracks that we need to keep an eye on. Hairline crack in the acorn. Some caulk issues. Just need to make sure there's no moisture getting in. Worn caulk again. That's in the windows down by the treasurer's office. There's some cracking on the outside of the addition windows. Hairline cracks in the ephes. A lot of exhaust. So we need to just monitor those bricks where that moisture is. We've got some flaking where we need to probably put a coat of something on there to seal that. But it doesn't look so bad in some of the other spots. We need to repair this where the camera, the guy who came to install the camera, tried a few places to put the thing through and found lots of brick. So we need to get that sealed up correctly so it doesn't cause any damage.
Mm-hmm. Over there.
That's looking in bad shape. Once again, some hairline cracks in the ephes. We need to probably caulk some of the joints where there's some cracks. Worn joints again. But the roof looks good. More hairline cracks in the ephes. The window gaskets, the big window gaskets in the hall there need fixed.
And it's bad over there.
Yep. Window framing. So we need to get that fixed. And this is the roof on the back entry by Waldorf. And that's starting to show some age. Some of the heat coils have lost their stickiness, so we need to get those back in place. Cheap Winnebago is not looking so hot. And probably need to re-copper on the windows in the tower.
Some of
on the
those
inside.
windows up there are real cheap looking. You know, they're like the vinyl, like the residential vinyl windows. You know? Some of those.
So this window, we've had some leak on this window, and but it's only been during like the hard driving rains. So we just need to keep an eye on this window.
Is there any way to caulk that to see what a little
We
bit?
have.
The seal that they did is good, so they determined that the window was leaking, since we had an issue. And so it's some of that, the gasket material on that, holds the window, so it's not metal on.
Yeah.
Some of that needs to probably be, I don't know if you can caulk it probably, but that'd be a temporary solution. But it only happened when we had that one. I took pictures of it, so it was July 22nd or whatever, we had 5 inches of rain that night. And I specifically walked through here to make sure, that it wasn't leaking or anything. Found that when it was leaking.
What's the size of that window? Across. It's huge, isn't it?
It's
It's
like
Is it 8 foot and 4 foot
10
tall?
foot maybe.
like 8, 10, 11, 12, or it's a big one.
yeah, it's in the, yeah, it'll be expensive when we have to replace it for sure.
So when was, that's not an original window, when was that replaced? Is that in the 60s too, or?
No,
I think
2000. or 90s or something.
Oh,
You think so?
Late nineties.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't
I'm
know.
just maybe guess it's aluminum window.
Yeah.
So we probably could recaulk since he's saying that it's not in the greatest shape, but the caulk on, it's been caulked on the inside though, right?
The gasket, that's what we call it, the gasket.
Yeah.
So the gasket kind of, whether it's from weather or something, it must shrink, you know, not just a hairline,
Yeah.
and that's where you're kind of issue.
So masonry looks good above that window. Masonry higher up looks good. Dirty stone again.
So there's a product that you can use that you spray onto stone and siding and vinyl siding and retaining walls, and that will remove the algae and the moss and the dirtiness like that. And I use that product like on the north sides of buildings. You know how it just kind of gets that icky, dirty haze. And it doesn't remove it immediately, and it's supposed to be really safe. But as it rains, as moisture hits it, it reactivates it. It keeps reactivating it, and it works like $1,000,000.
My question's gonna be, once you get it clean, is there a product that you can use to treat it? But I used to do tile before they had good grout.
Mm-hmm.
I used an impregnator that actually absorbed into the grout, and it could probably absorb into the stone and repel, and, maybe stop some of that.
Maybe there's just some kind of a sealant or of some
Well,
sort.
this is probably decades of
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
accumulation. So once he gets it clean, one reason I have it clean is so you can visually see the condition of the stone. You can see the cracks are, and you can see how it's sealed down at the bottom.
We actually sprayed a wooden shingle roof that had moss and algae and everything on it, and it took about 1.5 years for multiple rains on it and stuff to really activate it, just cleaned it up.
Right, keep moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, final, we need to tuck point in future. The brick laid in 1999 were a good color match, but they aren't doing very good. Stone showing some inclusions. We need to fill some of those. And fiberglass windows need to be recaulked. Here it's talking about the dirty stone again with clean stones dry faster and helps. The glass block will need to be addressed, and we could put in new taller windows. Would help with energy efficiency. Recommend getting EIFS painted with proper paint to help seal and prevent hairline cracks. And window leaks, we need to just make sure they're caulked and replace gaskets. And those windows between the treasurer's office and the main hall need some definite help. We need to create a 5 to 10 year plan. Kevin and I will sit down and work on that. So everything looks pretty good right now, but we need to just keep up on the maintenance so we have small bills instead of huge bills.
Is there a company available to do that work? I just want to make sure he's still working.
He is.
Good.
And him and Thomas, do a great job, so.
Yeah, they do. I just want to make sure they're still going to be available in the next 5 to 10 years, if we're going to need them.
Yep, I would assume so. Any questions about
Did he sound like, you know, like the cleaning of the block, would that just be a power wash? He's
I
not
would assume so.
without deteriorating the block too much?
Sure. Right. I would assume that that's what he would, what is part of what you want for him to do.
Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I talked to him this morning, and he just said, you know, overall, I mean, overall building is in good shape, really good shape. So there's nothing immediately concerning, but just the layout, that's how I'm going into, you know, the caulk joints and those things need to be looked at, you know, more short term than.
Are you gonna, when you guys get together to look at that, are you gonna be able to estimate costs in 5 to 10?
I think that's something that we will have to get together with, and then we gotta have a meeting with him. And then, cause we're all revolve around putting the plan together, what are we gonna do, what are we trying to do?
Where's the priorities?
What are the prioritize what needs to be done, and then I guess we'll wish list after that, but I would say the windows the caulking where it needs to be done on the tower.
When you look at the cheap Winnebago, I mean, that's an expensive replacement if you're gonna go that route, you know?
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know what you can do there, obviously replace it with new or replace it with right? Or do you just, is there something you can do this?
We replace spaces otherwise,
Yeah. I don't
and,
know.
I mean, it's a historical building, if we can get a good rendition that, you know, does justice
You
to
could
it.
give the original cornerstone to the Historical Society.
Okay.
Who gave and who's in charge of the, brick work underneath the cannon? I mean, did that come from somewhere specific that?
That's been there since I can remember. They talked about, so there was an original cannon out there that was donated to the war efforts, like at World War II. And so this cannon that's out there is a replacement that Jack Caputo worked on. But that base is
Replica, right?
Yeah.
It's not a.
yeah, it's a replica. The original cannon was donated to the war efforts, but so that's
So
been there.
I was here.
it's
when
not
the
like the
cannon came
fountain.
in, did-
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Yep.
one of my early years.
yep.
From the last 15 years.
Okay.
The base was?
No, but just the cannon.
Yeah. The base has a NOAA or geodetic monument in it too.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
How do you do that?
Yeah,
We
cut
know about
cannon.
Couple of
I'd
guys.
have to inspect the whole thing and rebuild it.
Yeah, would it be faster on something like that? Just
to build a new one.
Just start over, yeah.
he could probably do some
If it's not
nice
really,
work there to
Yeah.
even make it better
Mm-hmm.
for less money.
maybe not even brick, maybe something else.
It could be, the base might be okay, but the brick could be replaced or something. And then you don't have to bother with moving the equipment.
Yeah.
So, anything else on the 5-year inspection, Kevin? Otherwise, we'll move to the treasurer's office window. Do we
Do we
have
need
that?
to do the 10-15 safety meeting?
I have a lot of stuff to go
I just know
over.
it's time.
Yeah.
Do you have more people coming?
Well, it's on the agenda. They know they're supposed to be here.
They're probably listening and seeing that we're not at it.
So it needs to be announced so they come up.
All right, well, we're gonna do the safety meeting in 5 minutes.
What are we gonna do in the meantime?
We're gonna talk a little bit about the treasurer's office.
What did you find out?
About the treasurer's office windows?
Yeah, is there replacement parts available and what was the cost? And We're talking about the power thing.
Oh, yeah,
Just replacing them.
yeah, I got, got an email from Cole. Here it is. So basically, replace barrel and tube motor. Total install $29.50. Price includes replacement of existing tube motor and reconnection to power and water line.
So that makes it operational.
Yeah.
And functional with the automatic system.
Yep. According to this.
A lot better than, there you go, 8,000.
I'm sure that there might be some time and materials additional when they get up in
Well,
there or
we'll need
something,
Matt to,
We're gonna make an access door instead.
yeah.
Well, I mean, they're gonna have to excavate it, get it out to Primor and put it back.
But all from the inside of
But
the
are we gonna
office.
make it easier for the next time?
We might make it accessible, but
Yeah.
it'd be the same thing, cause
Yeah.
it's the same, it's going back in the same way. And the motor's in the same location, so there's really no way to pull a panel off and get it to work.
Okay. That's what I'm wondering,
Yeah.
there's a way to make it easier.
So,
You wanna do possible action on that?
Kinda like changing the headlight on a 2009 now, you have to take the whole bumper off.
alright. What if we get another 25 years out of it?
So we wanna move forward with that?
I think so.
Okay.
Make a motion.
I'll make a motion to, move forward with the replacement of motor and barrel on the power, roll-up on the treasurer's office.
Well,
I'll second that. Kirby, Smith, motions, all in favor, say aye.
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 All right.
All right, good. And do the safety meeting?
All right. Well, I met with Scott Smith from WCA last week, and he said we are doing very well. I did want to give a shout out to the supervisors who are pushing their employees to call company nurse. So kudos to you guys. Because prompt reporting reduces future costs and also the length of time employees are gone. One thing we did talk about is we need to start doing incident reviews, meaning department heads need to do incident reviews. I did print out some, he gave me like a sample of the incident review reports where it just asks a bunch of questions, like was it, how did it happen, what were they doing at the time, was it preventable, that kind of thing. What we can do to change that or help that in the future. Julie Sorensen isn't here. I was gonna check with her to see if they have an animal lockup policy. Do you know if they do or
I
not?
think they do.
And an animal
I
containment
think
policy?
so. They had a couple of dog bites a long time ago, and so I think they
Yeah.
created a policy.
Okay.
But we can
I'll
check
follow
with
up
her.
with her, yeah.
Yep.
And then,
What is it that you want from me, Chelsea?
oh, sorry, I didn't know you were on the phone. Do you guys
Yeah,
have an
yeah.
animal containment policy?
Do you have a what policy?
An animal containment policy for like when your
yes,
nurses
we do.
go to visit?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Do you want a copy of that?
Yeah, you can just email it to me.
Perfect, okay.
Let's see what else. So he wanted us to set some goals. So obviously our number one goal is to have no claims, which, yes, that can be hard, but it's doable. Just be more mindful of our surroundings, knowing where we're headed and what's there. I do have some, I don't know if you have these in all of your places, the company nurse. You do? Okay. I made some copies just in case you didn't, but you want one? Let's see. In the fall, we're going to revisit, we talked about they have grants for the traction aids for the bottom of your feet or for bottom of your shoes. So we're gonna revisit that and then hopefully maybe we can get some grants so we have less slips, trips, and falls in the winter. This is another one for you, Julie. Do you guys do bloodborne pathogen classes?
Yep, we have to do that. Yep, we have to do that every year. Yep.
Do you pay for that or is it?
No.
Okay.
We have no. I don't think so.
Okay, I just want to make
No,
sure,
we don't.
'cause there's, on that Learn website, there's, free training for that, so I just wanted to make sure that you weren't paying for it.
No.
Okay, perfect. And then, let's see. I think that's it. I'll hand out those incident review, reports that I talked about. And then if you want me to email, maybe I'll just email it to all the department heads. That's probably easier. Yeah, I don't think I have anything else. That's about it. But yeah, Scott said we're doing great.
Okay. Good. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think there's rebates and more.
Rebates. Wishful thinking, Terry. Wishful
Well,
thinking.
if we keep our mod factor low, it reduces our, what we have
Well,
to
yeah,
pay.
that's true.
Dividends.
Those incident sheets, those go back to you guys on, or?
Yes. Well, I mean, I'd probably keep a copy. I would keep a copy with their stuff. That's what it looks like. I would keep a copy with their work comp claim, and then you could probably, if you want to put it in their employee file, either way.
All right. Open forum. There was someone that was on the phone texting that I thought maybe he might want to weigh in during open forum, but he's gonna wait. It was about the fence. So we'll talk about it another time. Okay. What do we have for open forum?
I don't have anything.
Anybody else? Thanks, Jess.
Before Scott leaves, I had a question on the claims that I see you bought a pickup.
I use pickup. Yeah, a little, what is it?
GMC Canyon? is it?
Canyon, yeah. I don't know, we bought a Ford Ranger here a year or two ago. It's just like
Like a coffee truck.
it's kinda like that.
So
It's
like when-
we don't do any real work with it. It's just a runner truck for
Point A
when,
to point B.
yeah, and we don't need all perfectly outfitted, brand new three-quarter ton pickup for that. So we kind of split our pickups into some categories. And so like the primary ones are the mechanic pickups, Ethan's pickups, the ones that go on the dirt crew, those guys that put on miles with trailers. And then there's another set that's really just running around and doing sign work, some things like that.
So they are working, not just getting from point A to point B.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not doing a lot of sign work with the little pickups, but
The big thing that switched around for us, with guys retiring, is guys switch shops. Well, Thompson always used to be a truck driver and a grader operator, and now Brandon switched up there, so we have a dirt crew guy. There's always been one pickup there, so Brandon's taking the pickup, to go to dirt crew projects, and if Zach needs to go out and check a hole in the road or do other things that are required to do, quick things, but there's no other pickup there. Even to run out to the mechanic shop, he's been walking.
And, you know, some of our pickups get 10, 15,000 miles a year, but then a lot of them get less than 5, so we're trying to balance, trying to make sure that when we get rid of a truck, it's old in both ways, in age and miles, and not one or the other.
What year is this one then?
2010?
So, I mean, you know, there were auctions maybe 10 years ago where we were getting rid of 25-year-old pickups with 120,000 miles on them. And, you know, I think there's a better way we can use a pickup's life.
Especially since some of the horror stories I hear about the new trucks and their expensive repairs that you could run into.
Yeah, and even the new ones, it feels like we're replacing the canisters and the, you know, the emissions canisters or whatever you call them. A lot of things like that cost $500 or anything.
Filters are expensive and things like that.
Yeah, we got a batch of pickups there that really kind of suck. So,
Okay, well, noticed it on quite a bit, I'd ask.
Anything else for open forum? Bill, did you have anything? Was there something about the recycling?
Oh, yeah, you guys see the pictures I sent you? Or the video?
When?
Just this one.
I sent you guys all a video that Glenn Hagenson evidently took this morning, and there's couch cushions and a whole bunch of stuff in recycling there in Thompson, so
Oh, boy.
we need to get that camera up and the sign up there with the fine on it as soon as possible, I guess. I don't know where we're at on it.
The signs just came in, and we have the camera, so those will go up soon. This week?
yeah, Jeff is gonna work on it today.
Okay, good. Good timing then, I'll get it done. And thanks for the video though, Bill.
Yeah, no, thank Glenn. He's, I figured I was gonna talk about it on open forum if I could figure out how to unmute myself.
Yeah,
Who gets rid of the trash then?
Chris
Recycling
has been.
has been.
he's been doing it. Which is not part of the,
So we could go across the aisle and put it in the library's garbage.
okay.
Just kidding. Fair point.
Maybe we could put it in WCTA's.
I did it for a person on their board, well, they're against it, so they know.
Okay, well, if that's all there is for open forum.
I should give you the color commentary that Lynn had attached to that video, but I'll tell you later.
All right, well, we're gonna go on to auditor's transfers.
Well, in the effort of keeping the roads funded, I will make a motion to approve the auditor's transfer.
I'll second. We have a motion by Derby, seconded by Smith to approve the auditor's transfers. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Motion passed.
Well, I guess I'll have to abstain. I can't see them.
Oh. Would you like us to read them to you?
There's just one,
Just one.
and it's large. $452,384.73 from rural basic to secondary roads.
Okay, aye.
Okay, motion passed. Consider for approval county claims.
I'll make a motion to approve the county claims.
I'll second it. Motion by
I'll
Derby.
second.
Whoops, motion by Derby, seconded by Jensvold to approve the county claims. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed?
Aye.
All right. We're good. Thanks, Bill.
So we stand adjourned, right?
Yeah, thank you.
We stand
We need
adjourned.
It's really hard to hear. We need, at
Well,
some point,
we had to have the projector running right by the microphone.
yeah, but your guys' voices were, I could hear Susan pretty good, and Carla fairly well. Terry, for whatever reason,
I'm behind.
and
I'm
everybody
kind of
else
behind
was,
the projector.
was real tough. What was that?
I'm in your place, right behind the projector, kind of.
Oh, yeah,
Did you see
okay.
adjourned?
I did.
Yeah.
Okay. Bye, Bill.
She wants your phone back?
Well, I got a lot going on today. Gotta do everything I need to do before.
Joe wants the EMS meeting on Wednesday, or on Thursday. Is that okay?
Are you attending that Thursday one, or am I?
I can.
attending,
I'm
or-
more available for Thursday than I am on Wednesday.
Okay.
I guess I'm the alternate, so.
Thursday.
You missed the,
I did.
yeah. The tech committee.
I am